Feral Druids are back on the table, guys. Feral Druids are back to being a Giga Chad class for ICC and the end of Wrath of the Lich King Classic. And that's because they reverted the nerf that they actually implemented earlier this week. Now, if you missed it, which would probably be pretty hard because Discords were going crazy as well as Reddit was popping off, but Omen of Clarity, the glyph of Omen of Clarity was changed to add a 5% damage nerf, complete damage nerf to Ferals. And this isn't a massive nerf, but 5% is still pretty large when you get towards the end game. And this is a 5% reduction of all physical damage. But they reverted this because of the Outroar most likely, and now we have the old Omen of Clarity glyph back. If you don't play a Feral Druid, basically what this does is every time you cast Feral Fairy Fire, so you're in cat form or bear form, if you cast Fairy Fire, then you proc Omen of Clarity 100% of the time and get a free attack out of it. This makes the rotation for Feral Druid a lot more fluid, whereas Feral Druids used to have to do bear weaving if they wanted to do as much DPS as possible. Although your 2-set bonus from your tier 10 gear was actually very strong for Lacerate, and people were literally thinking that you might still swap into bear form now with the new nerfed glyph, and the theory crafters were trying to figure it out in order to do Lacerate weaving again and try to get more damage out of it. The 2-set bonus is that your swipe and Lacerate both do 20% more damage, and the cost of energy of rip is reduced by 10. So if you guys want to get that, you probably will now, because Feral Druids are gonna be a very stackable class in ICC. They're potentially gonna be the strongest class in all of Icecrown Citadel. You're probably seen, if you watch any streams, any of the top guilds in the world have had a lot of players re-roll or level up Feral Druids in order to be ready for Icecrown speedruns. And that can partially be because they're simming so powerfully. Not only are they simming as the top or second to top single target DPS class in this entire phase, they are also an insane class for AoE. Feral Druids are probably the strongest class in AoE as you get ridiculous amounts of armor penetration this phase. Feral Druids are going to be just destroying entire packs before Fire Mages can even really get living bombs off. All of the memes from Feral Druids this week were really enjoyable and really fun, and shout out to Disco who made me a thumbnail already about the Feral unnerf already. And even though people noticed it in-game in the PTR, we did get a notification from Agrend, a blue post, telling us that they reverted that 5% damage reduction hotfix. So the nerf that was going to Ferals is now fixed, and Ferals are gonna be one of the most Chad classes in all of Icecrown Citadel. I would wager that they will be probably, again, the strongest class. It's looking like Ferals and Mages to go through this entire raid, and this pretty much makes it so that my tier list that I made earlier this week is probably gonna be pretty spot on, to be brutally honest. So if you want to see that, I'll put it up in the YouTube memberships. Also, Warcraft Logs did release their actual Race to World First rules, so we can go through what the World First rules are for Icecrown Citadel, as well as what we're gonna see in most of the parsing rules for Icecrown. But if you guys want to see anything on that, I'll have a video breaking that all down coming soon, as well as a video on how to gear your character coming soon. Anyways, guys, good luck to all of you out there in the next phase. Hopefully no one else sees any nerfs, and maybe we'll see some buffs to some of the classes that are really underperforming, things like enhanced shamans that are really just in a bad spot right now, where it's one of the most fun and interactive classes to play, but it's easily one of the weakest classes in the entire game.